Hi guys, it's me, Abby Vlogs, and I'm here doing another live stream. I am just waiting on my friend to join. Right now, I'm just doing a little doodle. Hmm. Yay, you're here, Lucas. I was just doing a little doodle while I was waiting for you. Oh yeah, I got new pants yesterday. I got Ghostface PJ pants yesterday at Walmart. Because I've been really into the Scream movies. You're fine. You're fine. Yeah, this is the doodle that I was doing. I'm doing a little doodle because I want to create my own tattoo. Because I want to get something like this on both my shoulders, like right in here, but with different sayings on it. Because I've been really into the Scream movies. So I just watched the first one on Easter. And I started watching the second one, but I need to finish that one. I haven't finished that one yet. Oh, nice. But yeah, before I get into this book, I may have went to Barnes and Noble and got 4 books. Books that I didn't need because I already have like a whole stack. Yeah, I went a little overboard. I got X's and O's by Kayla Gross. This one I kept seeing all over TikTok. Yeah. This one I saw all over TikTok. I kept seeing all over TikTok like about a year or two ago. And I heard it's supposed to be really, really good. I got Unholy Vows by Mila Kane. I don't know what to think of this because I haven't heard anything about it, but it looks good. I finally got The Ritual because it's the first book of the series. This is the first book of a dark college romance series. And I haven't been able to find this one because this one has been really hard to find. But I heard it's supposed to be really good. Well, this book haul, it included a book haul plus I got 2 little blind bags from Barnes and Noble, and that was about 100. I used my $5 rewards, so it would have been $122, but it actually ended up costing me $117. Yeah, it cost me like $117. And then the last book that I got, it's called Mile High. I heard this is supposed to be a really good series. And as for the blind bags that I got, I already opened them. They are both K-pop Demon Hunter. Let me bring out the little boxes. These are the ones that I got. Or these are the blind boxes that I got. One's a mystery pin. One is the Loungefly. Well, I think they're both made by Loungefly. I don't know. But one's a pin, one's a little mystery bag. This one was made by Loungefly. And the little bag clip that I got Abby. With his abs. And you can actually open it and put like little things in there. As for the pin that I got Rumi. I got the Rumi pin. Though I want a derpy of both. Because derpy looks like so cool in the bag clip. And in the pin. That was my little haul, even though I didn't need any more books. Because even though I have like a ton of books. Oh. Nose. Oh yeah, how was your Easter? Oh, let me take a look. Oh wow. That's a good haul. See, we just ate whatever here. We didn't really have a big dinner because no one comes down anymore to our house. Yeah, I see that. So, yeah, and sorry if I seem like a little off today. I've been sick for the past couple days. I'm still a little sick, but not as much as I was. Ugh. Plus, it doesn't help that I'm dealing with a toothache right now. So, yeah, that's fun. Ugh. But, yeah, let's get into the book. We will be reading chapter 15 and we'll be reading chapter 15 and a special feature. And we are almost done with this book because if I put my little bookmark in, where the bookmark is down, that's all we got left of this book. And then we can start on the regular book of Chamber of Secrets. So, yeah, let's get into it. Chapter 15, The Forbidden Forest. Summary. Harry and Hermione's nightmare adventure cost Gryffindor House its place in the House Cup. Embarrassed and ashamed, they turn their attentions to schoolwork and attempt to put their adventuring life behind them. Even when Harry overhears Quirrell in distress, all that is put to one side. However, when an overnight detention in the Forbidden Forest puts Harry in more danger than anyone could realize, that is until a friendly centaur steps in to save the day and reveals who is really after the Sorcerer's Stone. Mars is bright and war is coming for them all. Walking around an ancient and dangerous castle at 1 a.m. is definitely worthy of some form of punishment. McGonagall's reaction, however, does seem a little extreme. In a boarding school as old as Hogwarts, these children are surely not the first who have explored the castle at night. It's possible there is a heightened sense of threat at the school at the moment due to the strange occurrences so far during the year and a knowledge that someone is after the stone, which might make McGonagall particularly apprehensive about children roaming the castle unsupervised. She does not she does say, especially these days when reprimanding Neville, despite there having been no mention of a rising threat in the wizarding world thus far, perhaps the teachers are aware the threat may be focused on Harry when with Snape refereeing the Quidditch match and Dumbledore watching in the stands to keep an eye on him. And McGonagall is particularly unhappy Harry himself has been caught out of bed. Whatever the case, Harry, Hermione, and the unlucky Neville receive one of the harshest punishments we see in the books, losing 50 points apiece, while Draco's exploits only cost Slytherin a measly 20. We won't see McGonagall issue a demerit of nearly this scale again until Prisoner of Azkaban, when Malfoy, Crabbe Goyle, and Marcus Flint lose a combined 50 points for dressing as Dementors to scare Harry during a Quidditch match, which effectively means McGonagall believes students being out of bed this late in this context is an act worse than endangering Harry's life, which is itself further evidence that at the least the faculty is a bit on edge. The loss of house points coupled with an incredibly dangerous detention makes this the worst punishment Harry will receive until Dolores Umbridge joins the school in Book 5, potentially to discourage further nighttime excursions, though we know that will hardly prove effective. The subsequent fall from Social Grace's trio experience is particularly punishing since all of them have already experienced life as social outcasts to some degree. Harry's fame-based popularity inverts. Suddenly he's public enemy number one. For her part, the studious and outspoken Hermione now refrains from answering questions in class. Instead, she channels her energy into the friends who are sticking by her side and rewards her loyalty by coaching them to academic success. A few weeks later, just before exams begin, Harry's determination not to stir up more trouble is put to the ultimate test. He overhears Quirrell sobbing and pleading not again before rushing out of an empty classroom. Harry mistakenly believes Snape has finally broken Quirrell's nerve and that the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher has agreed to lend Snape his services on a quest for the Sorcerer's Stone. In reality, Voldemort has been demanding Quirrell to drink unicorn blood. Quirrell already killed one unicorn the week prior. Now Voldemort demands another. The professor succumbs, and the next night he enters the Forbidden Forest to hunt, unaware his last mutilated victim had been discovered and that Hagrid has been looking for whatever, or in this case, whoever, is harming the unicorns. The students' detention also takes place the next night, oddly weeks after the original misdemeanor, and keeping them up in the middle of the night, despite that being the reason they have detention in the first place. Harry, Hermione, Neville, and Draco are once more out of their beds, but as the adults have told them to do it, this time it's okay. Not content with breaking just that rule for this punishment, however, we will also break the rule about the forest being forbidden to all pupils, because during the night when something unknown is entering the unicorns is the best time to waive that rule to prove a point, right? The whole situation is so absurd it only seems logical that it has to be another of Dumbledore's schemes. If Dumbledore is aware Voldemort could be in the forest, perhaps this encounter is a test of Harry's skill and strength of mind, a way of orchestrating a meeting when Voldemort is off guard. At one point, Harry even mentions he feels like he's being watched. Perhaps Dumbledore is with him in the forest, taking measures to keep himself unseen. The premise of the trip is to discover information about the harm that it is befalling the innocent unicorns of the forest. The unicorn is one of the most ancient mythological creatures, with some depictions reportedly dating back to the Bronze Age. They often symbolize purity and conversely, passion and wildness that can be tamed by innocence, and their horns are said to have magical and healing properties. In the wizarding world, unicorn hairs can be used for wand cores, while unicorn blood boasts restorative properties, though consuming it comes with a curse. Drinking the blood will leave you with a half-life, but for a creature like Voldemort, or what remains of his already fractured soul, a curse such as this is nothing new. Unicorns act as another symbolic metaphor here. Voldemort has already been living a half-life for 10 years since the last time he attempted to destroy something pure and innocent, Harry himself. And he can only be restored to life properly once Harry's blood is spilled, but that's for a later book. As the group heads into the forest, Hagrid breaks the first rule of entering a dangerous situation by splitting up the party. He states that Fang is a coward, yet still considers him a strong enough guardian to keep several 11-year-olds safe in a forest full of creatures that could easily cause them grievous bodily harm. Clearly, Hagrid doesn't have the best grasp of what counts as dangerous, but since even he seems worried while walking through the woods looking for the mystery monster, why does Hagrid think it's okay to let Draco and Neville fend for themselves? In this instance, Draco's father would be right to express concerns over this punishment, and Hagrid's line that that's how it is at Hogwarts should be cause for concern. The atmosphere of this chapter is largely created through the description of senses. The author relies on sound to provide clues of what's happening in the dark forest alongside our characters. First, we are lulled into a sense of security with the sound of a stream before Hagrid panics, and we're given a distinctly creepier description of something slithering over dead leaves nearby. The leaves could have fallen or simply been on the ground, but instead the author seems to suggest an aura of death about the slithering creature. Secondly, the fact that this thing is slithering places the unseen threat firmly in the realm of beast, unfamiliar and uncanny. The immediate association is with snakes, a clue that this creature may be associated with Voldemort, though we are yet to learn the depth of the connection between snakes and the Dark Lord. We are then given a further description that the sound is like a cloak trailing along the ground. The simile in itself is not disturbing. This sound must be a common one at Hogwarts, where cloaks are part of the school uniform. What makes it uncanny, however, is the fact that the creator of this familiar sound cannot be seen. The tension is then broken as we encounter the centaurs for the first time. Ronan and Bane are enigmatic, almost apathetic creatures, more interested in the prophecies of the stars than the world of wizards. As a community, the centaurs are distinct and cold, giving the impression of wise, reclusive sages who refuse to share the result of their divinations with humans. In contrast, Ferenz represents a new generation. He, like Harry, is willing to step up to fight injustice and help those in need. When Harry finds himself alone in the clearing with the monster and the slain unicorn, it is Friends who charges in to save Harry from the creature's advance. Friends also provides Harry with the information he needs to make informed choices for his future, unlike a certain headmaster who acts rather like an older centaur at times, despite the twinkle in his eye. From this encounter, Harry learns that Voldemort is in the forest, and it is he who is after the Sorcerer's Stone. Like Bane and Ronan, Friends notes that Mars is bright, the god of war is looming closer, and Harry must be ready to fight for a fight to prevent the Dark Lord from achieving the elixir of life. As the chapter closes, we get another hint that Dumbledore may be acting as a puppet master and pulling all the strings as Harry discovers his invisibility cloak returned to him with the encouraging note, just in case. And we'll go back. First mentions are Ronan, Bane, and Firenze. Did you know, in astrology, Mars is the action planet of the solar system, encompassing energy, passion, and determination, and in mythology is known as the god of war. The planet is considered to be malefic, which gives it the capability of causing harm or destruction, especially by supernatural means. Mars's energy is said to be responsible for accidents and wars, as well as being aggressive and resentful. Timeline: May 10th, Saturday, 1 a.m. McGonagall punishes Harry, Hermione, and Neville for being out of bed. Saturday morning, Gryffindors notice the house points are missing. A rumor spreads that Harry and his friends are to blame. A week before exams, Harry overhears Quirrell sobbing and agreeing to something. The next morning, Harry, Hermione, and Neville receive notes telling them their detention will take place that evening. So there's the pages. Beyond the books, centaurs look like humans from the waist up and horses from the waist down. Believed to be of Greek origin, centaurs occupy forested communities in several areas of Europe. We know little about these mysterious creatures because they mistrust all humans, whether magical or muggle. Having sufficient intelligence to understand the laws of the magical community, they could have been classified as beings, but they chose to stay classified as beasts instead. Their reputation is that of creatures who have strong skills in astronomical divination, archery, and healing. Timeline: late May 26th, 11 p.m. Filch escorts Harry, Hermione, Neville, and Draco to meet Hagrid at the Forbidden Forest for their detention. Around midnight, Draco and Harry encounter a cloaked figure drinking unicorn blood in the forest. Draco flees in terror, and Harry is rescued by Firenze. Dawn. Harry, Ron, and Hermione go to bed having discussed the night's events. Harry discovers the invisibility cloak has been returned to him. Ring theory. While with Firenze, Harry very clearly recalls what Hagrid had told him about Lord Voldemort on the night that they met. The exact same line is used in both chapters 4 and 15. Some say he died Coddleswap. In my opinion, don't know if he had enough human left in him to die. Magical theory. In episode 7, the hosts pondered the technicalities of drinking unicorn blood. Is the drinker still cursed at a half-life if the unicorn is already slain? What about if the blood is consumed to sustain the life of a righteous individual, not for evil? Meanwhile, elsewhere, while Harry, Hermione, and Neville are in detention with Hagrid, Ron is sleeping in the common room waiting to hear how it went. And those are the pages. Did you know Quirrell's first name belongs to the Archeac triad, which also includes Mars and Jupiter. Some even think Quirinius is another form of Mars, that the god of war who is barely distinguishable from the Greek god Ares. Their main difference is that Ares' form of war was destructive and led to enmity. Whereas Mars was responsible for productive battles that resulted in long-lasting peace, Mars is the father of Romulus and Remus in one myth and tries to seduce Minerva in another. From the podcast, so we get this shifty figure who is sucking on some unicorn blood, and Harry suddenly feels this immense pain on his forehead. He relates it to a scar being on fire. I can't think, after all we've talked about in the Sorcerer's Stone, of a time where the scar is hurting this much. This is big. Something is going on. Caleb said this in episode 7 of Aloha Mora. Consider this. Do you think McGonagall was harder on the Gryffindor students because they are in her house? Could that explain the disparity between the house points she takes away from Gryffindor versus Slytherin? Ring theory. In both this chapter and chapter 5, Draco, always the privileged one, makes a point to equate Hagrid and the work he does to that of servants. And those are the pages. Ring theory. After safely leaving the Forbidden Forest and returning to the dormitory, Harry recounts his experience with Firenze to Ron and Hermione, saying, Bane thinks Firenze should have let Voldemort kill me. I suppose that's written in the stars as well. This is our first hint at a prophecy between the pair, and also a mirror of the moment in Deathly Hallows when Lord Voldemort does indeed nearly kill Harry in the Forbidden Forest. And that's that page. And now we will get into the special feature, which is luckily only one page. Special feature. Mars is bright tonight. There are many hints at prophecy early in the series. One of the first being when Harry encounters the centaurs in the Forbidden Forest. In the magical world, centaurs are highly intelligent, yet are unwilling to share their knowledge, but their words in chapter 5 are more revealing than they first appear. The oft-quoted line, Mars is bright tonight, applies to more than stargazing. According to astrologers, Mars is the action planet of the solar system, encompassing energy, passion, and determination, and is also said to be responsible for accidents and wars. The planet is considered to be malefic, which gives it the capability of causing harm or destruction. Mars appearing bright to the centaurs is an ill omen for our heroes. What have you been telling him? Remember, friends, we are sworn not to set ourselves against the heavens. Have we not read what is to come in the movements of the planets? Bane said this in Sorcerer's Stone. When Bane and Ronan chose not to interfere with the heavens, they are foreshadowing what is to come for Harry and Lord Voldemort. The fact that Mars is bright tonight while Harry is in the Forbidden Forest with the Dark Lord, which happens only twice in this series, is in this case prophetic. Firenze hints at the significance of the moment, understood by the centaurs but not by Harry for many years. The centaurs are clearly stating in their own vague way that war is on the horizon. Voldemort's return is predestined, and Harry will have to face him head-on. Other foreshadowing in this chapter includes the concept of werewolves in the forest, a nod to Lupin in Book 3, as well as the deaths of innocents. Ronan states the innocent are the first victims. While this applies to the injured unicorns, it also foreshadows that innocents will be the first to die on Voldemort's return in Book 4. Bertha Jorkins, Frank Bryce, and Cedric Diggory. The forest holds many secrets. It is connected to Book 2, where Harry will have to enter the forest to discover the truth about the secret of Hagrid's expulsion from Hogwarts and its connection to the Chamber of Secrets. Every time Harry enters the forest in this series, he encounters one secret or another. Time Turner's Grop and Harry's own death in the clearing are all held in the secrets of the Forbidden Forest. And there is that page. And that is all for tonight. In the next live stream, which will be Friday night, we will get into chapter 16, which is called Through the Trap Door. we'll get through. We'll be reading chapter 16 and a special feature. I hope my tooth feels better too. But yeah, you sleep well, and I will see you back here on Friday night if you're available then. So I will see you then. Have a good night and sleep well.